Hi, I'm Terrinique Pennerman, founder of the best-selling naturally curly hair care brand Kurlee Belle and host of the Terrinique Show, a show where we talk about hair, a woman's crowning glory. I'm so happy that you've allowed us to be a part of your hair care journey, and I hope that you enjoy the show. Episode of the Terrinique Show. I am your host, Terrinique Pennerman, and I am so happy that you guys have decided to join us for yet another episode. Please like, share, subscribe. We are the Terrinique Show on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Apple, and Spotify podcasts, everywhere the Terrinique Show. On today's episode, we will be discussing 10 tips on maintaining braids. It's the summer season, yes it is, and with the summer comes braids, and I love to say the summer season is braid season. So here are some helpful tips that will help you maintain your braids during the season or any season, it doesn't matter. First of all, you want to shampoo, deep condition, and moisturize your hair before getting braids. This is very important because it will give your hair a sense of health and strength and moisture, which is needed to sustain it being in this protective style for however long you want to wear them. 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 8 weeks, however long you're going to wear your braids. You need to properly moisturize your hair so that your hair is protected when it is intertwined in the braids. Secondly, if you have naturally curly hair and your hair tends to shrink, you want to naturally stretch out your hair the night before getting braids. This will make the hair more manageable and the braids will be able to blend better when you get them if you have naturally curly hair, especially if you have type 4 hair. How I recommend you do this is to section your hair into about 4 sections. So you can part the hair down the middle and then across. And then this section of hair, after you've washed, deep conditioned, and you have moisturized the hair and detangled, you would detangle this section of hair and put it in a ponytail. After you put this section into a ponytail, you want to make sure the end of the ponytail is detangled and you would braid that end. Once you braid the end of the hair, what this will do is it will stretch the hair and allow the hair to dry in a stretched state. This is one of the simplest ways of stretching your hair out before getting braids. You would also continue onto this section and that section. The more sections you have, the better. Once you're ready to go and get your hair braided, what you can do is you will untwine, so loose the braids, and then you will see that your hair will be in a stretch, kind of like a blowout state. You can easily run your fingers through your hair, and so will the person who's doing the braids. So that is a good way, like a pro tip, in naturally stretching your hair before you get braids. Thirdly, after you've gotten your braids, you want to avoid constantly putting them up in updos. Yes, braids do look very nice when they're like on the top of your head in a top knot kind of updo, but what this does is it puts tension on your hairline, on your follicles, and this can cause pulling, tearing, breakage, and traction alopecia. So you want to avoid getting, updos all the time, putting your hair in updo styles all the time. Fourthly, you want to avoid getting long, very long and very heavy braids because these will also pull on your edges, they will pull on your hair, and they will cause tension between the hair and the scalp. So don't do anything too extreme that's gonna be heavy, and it's a pain. It's really a pain if you have like really thick, long, heavy braids to walk around with that all day. It strains your neck, your back. It's just very uncomfortable to just wear these long braids that are also thick. So avoid getting long and heavy braids. Try braids that are medium size and about medium length. They can come here down to your shoulders or whatnot, but avoid getting long, heavy braids. They're just, it's just too much. Secondly, not secondly, sorry. Number 5, do not pull your braids too tight. We have a tendency to take our braids, and especially if they are thicker braids, and put them in a ponytail instead of them hanging down. When doing this, you need to be mindful of your hairline and not to pull, the braids too tight into a ponytail. The best way to wear braids would be just to wear them out, free falling. And that's one of the reasons why you don't want to get them too long or too heavy or too thick, because it's kind of difficult to wear them just free falling when they are so heavy and long. So just avoid pulling your braids too tight. Number 6, you want to wash your hair when you have braids at least every 2 weeks, just to keep the braids clean so that they don't smell. And especially in the summertime, you're sweating, and you want to keep your scalp and your hair clean when you have in braids. Number 7, always protect your hair at night. This is the best way to keep your braids for a long period of time and them looking good, is wearing a bonnet. So wear like a nice bonnet, a nice big bonnet at night. We have Kurlee Belle offers bonnets. So we have bonnets that they stretch, around the hairline, and they provide a lot of room so your braids can fit in there comfortably. You want to wear a silk or satin bonnet because this will reduce traction, with the braids, and reduce frizzing and the braids looking older quicker. So always protect your hair at night. And number 8, keep your scalp clean and moisturized. This comes hand in hand with washing your hair every 2 weeks, but after you wash your hair, you want to keep your scalp moisturized. I would recommend our Bahamas Glow Hair and Strengthening Oil. It's made from castor oil, mango, and jojoba oil. It's a very good oil for keeping your scalp moisturized so it's not itchy and dry. This will also aid in healthy hair growth and keeping the hair that is closest to the root moisturized so that it is strengthened and stronger as your hair grows out and you take out the braids. Number 9, don't leave your braids in for too long. Leaving your braids in for too long can cause damage and breakage. Yes, as your hair grows, there is a section between the hair and, your scalp. If that section becomes too long, if the new growth is too long, the hair starts to twist. This twisting can cause a lot of issues like hair pulling from the root. It can cause traction alopecia. It can cause breakage and matting. So once you see the braid, where the braid, starts and your scalp starts, once you see there's a lot of new growth there, you want to take out your braids. Don't leave them in for a very long time because this is going to cause issues with hair loss. And number 10, let your hair and scalp rest between braids. During the summertime, we like to wear braids, and if they start to look old, then we take them out and we put some new ones in. But give your hair and scalp a rest in between braids. You don't want to take it out and then put it back in. So wait at least 2 or 3 weeks in between braided styles and just give your hair a rest. Again, 10 tips on maintaining braids. Number 1, before you get your braids, you want to shampoo, deep condition, and moisturize the hair. Number 2, you want to naturally stretch out the hair the night before you're getting your braids so your hair will be more manageable. Number 3, avoid constant updos because these pull on the hairline. Number 4, avoid getting long and heavy braids because it's a lot of stress on the head, on your neck, and on your hair. Number 5, don't pull your braids too tight when you're putting them in a ponytail because this will cause breakage and hair loss. Number 6, wash your hair every 2 weeks just to keep the hair and the scalp clean. Number 5, always protect your hair at night. This will cause your braids to have longevity and they look better. Number 8, keep your scalp and hair moisturized and clean always. Number 9, don't leave your braids in for too long. You want to take them out at least after 8 weeks. And number 10, let your hair and scalp rest in between braids. You don't want to take your braids out and then put it back in the next week. Give it at least 2 to 3 weeks in between braided styles. If this was helpful to you, please like, share, subscribe. We are the Terrinique Show on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Apple, and Spotify podcasts. Everywhere, the Terrinique Show. Have a great day.